But yes, I'm Jennifer. I'm here to give you an introduction of FilOz, which is a very new team that we just started in April this year. We are a Filecoin public goods and dev team, and I'm going to tell you more about that. So to start with, who am I? I don't know about you guys. And do you guys know who I am in general? Why am I here talking to you guys? No, maybe not sure, right? Who is this random person? But yes, you probably know me as Jenny Juju. I literally dig into the Slack history, and this is Ayush, who was a former Lotus engineer, OG engineer. I think the Lotus team was working on shipping Filecoin to mainnet 4 years ago, and they need someone that's a community engineer, can understand the technical side of the things of the protocol. However, also talking to the users to hear their pain points of running Filecoin nodes in general and get the feedback and help launching the network. So on my first day, Ayush decided I know nothing about Filecoin, and he decided to post that message in the field lobby and just throw me into the Filecoin community and be like, hey, this is the person supposed to be answer all your questions without actually knowing anything about Filecoin right now. And he was at the time my manager, supposed to be onboarding me to the team, and also teaching me about Filecoin. He decided to take a week off vacation on my first week. So that's how I get into Filecoin, and then meet the Lotus team. And you can see I started to talking to the users of Filecoin. Lotus was the only implementation back in the days we were trying to make Filecoin actually work. And I started to basically contributing Filecoin through Lotus about 3-4 years ago. So I have actually been through a lot of different phases in the Filecoin ecosystem. So after we launched Filecoin, it was a successful launch. I think we have onboarded a lot of storage onto the network, and we have a lot of storage spaces. And at the time, Protocol Labs, again, my former employer, and they were like, "Oh my God, this is not the time. We want people to building applications on top of Filecoin. We need to start building the ecosystem instead of just a storage network." So I started to to do more community building and hopefully to find the gaps in the ecosystem and connecting the dots in the general decentralized storage thing and making Filecoin useful for that. So again, I was actually a part of the ecosystem team to help growing the community building ambassador program. I think that's the first version of Filecoin Orbit in the beginning. And then I was also trying to think of the way, try to again grow our ecosystem in general by building different tools and so on and so forth. But things doesn't go so well, because as you all know, Filecoin was trying to do a lot of things. We shipped the networks and we realized, oh my God, there are so many base layer protocol that isn't actually working, or Lotus is not perfect. How to onboard storage on Filecoin it's still buggy. So there's not a very functional protocol for me to grow the ecosystem and convince builder to build on Filecoin right now, because things were not working. And then I got converted back to the Lotus engineering team, the core implementation team, and just be okay, let's fix Filecoin first. So we launch it, let's make it better, let's make it work. And since then I have been a part of the Lotus team, being a part of the Lotus maintainer, and slowly starting to helping TPM and managing the Lotus team for 2 years, I would say, 2020 to 2023, starting that. And because I work on the core implementations and started to know more and more about the Filecoin protocol and understanding the needs, the landscape of the problem we are trying to solve, I get more involved in different aspects of Filecoin. I'm a part of the field implementers. I do FIP editings to help pushing the protocol changes evolvement forward by giving support and suggestions to the FIP authors. I'm a part of the core devs, and also I help coordinating network upgrades, which is the hard fork of Filecoin to evolve the protocol. I have been doing a lot of different kinds of things for Filecoin, and I think how I summarize that is one of the chief cat herder for the Filecoin community. Whenever there's a problem, needs a coordinated effort to solve that, I want to help, and that's how I want to contribute. And that's the title I gave myself, and that's my lovely cat. Maybe people know about that. But yeah, that's the only C title role I have ever seen myself to actually have, chief cat herder, until 4 months ago. So Protocol Labs, like the founder of the Protocol Labs, also Filecoin, Juan Bennett, he presented these ideas about how he think Protocol Labs will be evolving to Protocol Lab Network. There's like a huge blog post, a lot of like YouTube videos, so you can learn more about that. But the high level idea is like if you have like everyone in one team and trying to evolve a product, it's not always going to work. What we need is like many different independent network teams that specialize and focus on different stage of the R&D pipeline to solve hard problems. And basically they're like, okay, now Protocol Labs is not gonna be a thing. It's all gonna become like Protocol Lab Network. You figure out how you can contribute to the technology that we're building, and you try to, run a thing and like keep doing that. And that's the time I'm like, okay, cool. What does that mean for me as like someone working on Lotus? Like if I'm not doing Lotus, how can I contribute to this ecosystem? And I don't know all the answer. However, I met with Nicola, who was leading CryptoNet Lab, which is the research team in Filecoin. And we get together and be like, okay, so there's always certain needs that's needed to keep Filecoin moving forward. Like we need that R&D like kind of pipeline. We may know a little bit about how to do that, what needs to be done, and we might know the people to actually execute on that. So maybe we can come up with a team, being one of the independent network teams that focus on public goods of the Filecoin R&D development. And we started to like talk more about that like over 2 months, and eventually we got like Molly, who was the PL and research lead, has been involving in the ecosystem as a thought leadership for a really long time as well, get onboarded with the ideas. Think that's a very important thing to do. And us three get together and we started to fund this new team called FilOz. And that's what I am going to tell you more about after that. Cool. So very quickly, when we come up with the new team, we don't just want to create the team for the sake of create team. We want to see, okay, what can we do the best to contribute to the Filecoin ecosystem, and what's the unique thing that we can actually do with the knowledge and the skill set and the people we have. And these are the mission statement that we come up with. The first one is like network security and upgrades. Filecoin is very complicated. All the blockchain system is very complicated. Security and consensus is like one of the top key things to make the whole technology actually work. And that is one of the focus. We want to make sure that there are a group of people, they're incentivized and focused on building that. So say, okay, Filecoin, please don't crash the chain. However, if there's a security problem that's halting the Filecoin chain, we want to make sure there are people will be reacting to that, resolving it really quickly. Basically, keep the network secure, keep the network running. And that's the first thing that FilOz want to contribute to in this ecosystem. The other thing is, again, Filecoin is not perfect right now, and we want to keep evolving that, keep up with how Web3 and the general decentralized web is evolving. We want to keep enable and accelerate the improvement of Filecoin, and we want to spend our time on that as well. And all the blockchain network needs client implementations, otherwise the blockchain doesn't exist. And we want to keep maintaining a secure client implementation, which is one of the first implementation and the so-called reference implementation of the network, Lotus implementation, and the protocol in the actors and the RefVM. We are going to keep developing Filecoin protocol in open source fashion and shipping these things to folks. But it's just only one of the implementation of the network. We also have Forest Venus. We are also having more client implementation that's working on different services of the Filecoin network. For example, Curio is one of that. So they are actually upgrading. Lotus used to have like Lotus Miner as well for producing blocks and onboarding storage. But like for that part of the things, we are hoping other network independent teams can be working on, and we're just going to focus on the protocol side of the client implementation. And last but not least, we do realize Filecoin is very complicated and it's kind of hard to get onboarded to the protocol and even evolving it, be a part of it. Like I sometimes I'm jealous of like other ecosystem. It's like a lot of people are proposing EIPs, having like cool L2 ideas, like having these like research different things. Filecoin doesn't have that many, to be very honest with you. And I feel like there's a gap to be closed. It's like we want to make Filecoin easier to understand so people can see the gap as they see and help contributing to that and help growing the protocol along with us. And so we do want to dedicate a lot of our resources to the community, to talk to the people so that we can make Filecoin better together. So how do we do this? Like all those like our fancy words sounds like useful, but like how can we make it actionable? So there's like a list of the things that we want to do. So again, we are pretty much still very focused on the protocol side of the Filecoin. So, being a part of the core devs, engaging in the FIP, not only proposing them, but also supporting FIP authors to finalize their ideas and implementing the FIP and shipping to the network upgrade. That is one of the things that we want to be doing. The other thing we want to do is like actually simplify the core Filecoin protocol so that it's easier to evolve and also pushing more things to the user land. Now we have the fantastic VM that you can just deploy different applications using smart contract on chain instead of waiting for this group of like core implementers to ship something for you, right? You can take the initiative, do it yourself. We also want to make sure we create Filecoin alignment like venues to share how we think the next steps is like for Filecoin and how we can contribute together, like moving towards the same goal by coming here, talking to you guys, know you guys, and like also creating venues where you guys can leverage our resources, our brain power, our skill set to help you build the thing that's needed. And again, sharing knowledge, a lot of the things. And last but not least, we don't want to be a team working a silo on an island. We actually want to be working with many of you guys because like no one is gonna be make Filecoin work just by one single team, right? It's like taking a whole community, a whole ecosystem, like many teams, different effort to do that. And we would love to be partner with you guys to do that together. And how can we actually do that? What gave me the confidence to say FilOz will be able to do that is because the amazing people behind that, other than Molly, Nicola, and myself, we have a lot of like great engineers, TPM's community engineers who have all been evolving Filecoin since white paper time, even before the white paper time. So we have a lot of like, researchers that introduce like PORAP, the consensus to the network, and OG Lotus engineer probably even create the Lotus repo, like Kuba is here as well, and a lot of like RefIf VM core dev and we also have, for example, Marcy and Rod who were building applications like CID contact, IPNI, and Lassie for the data onboarding pipeline. We have different profile of people in this team, and we believe together with the community, we can be solving a lot of the problem and making us the resource that people can be leveraging and doing things. I get a lot of like questions before. It's like, okay, but like, what's about the name? Why FilOz? So this is the public story that I want to tell people. It's like we want to show our passion and commitment towards Filecoin open source development. If you see what I'm trying to do there, like FilOz. But who want to guess what's the real story behind it? So I didn't realize, having worked on Filecoin, God, there are like very hard challenges to solve. However, I didn't realize like starting a new team, the hardest is like coming up a name. So I was like, okay, let me not spending time on the name right now. Let's just put a stupid name for now, but forming the team, finding a purpose first. I'm like, okay, I make everything about my cat. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a to be renamed the FilOz team. But then the name stick, and as you probably already know, that coincidentally, Molly, my CEO, we both have cat named after Ozzy. And we're like, oh my God, it's perfect. Okay, FilOz, Fil open source, that works, awesome. And the name stuck. and explaining a little bit of the logo. As you can see, we are very passionate about our cats. We love our cats. We make a lot of things about the cat. And we were working actually the amazing designer at Filecoin Foundation, Gary, who is like amazing. He was like doing the research. He's like, okay, the symbol of the on sign, it's like over there. And if you rotate that, you can actually see a little cat over there. And there you go. That's our logo of like little FilOz over here. And it's a very cool, fun, like, logo, basically like describe how our team's culture is like as well. We do have very nerdy side of the things, but we are also a very fun team. And that's that. And this logo can be very creative. You can create adding different like emotions onto this logo while you are working on Filecoin. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, this is hard. You put like a sign saying on that, everything is on fire again. You can expand the logo. It's really fun. If you want to help us, making emojis, please do send it over to me on Slack and everything. Okay, enough about how we start FilOz, but I think why do I believe what we're doing is very important is we want to make sure that from a protocol development perspective, we are driving Filecoin alignment. So what is Filecoin alignment? There's different aspects of that. The first one is culture alignment. We are here for a reason. We probably have heard this. It's what is Filecoin for? It's a decentralized, efficient, robust foundation for humanity information. And I hope we still believe that's critical for the decentralized web, and that's why we are still building Filecoin in general. We want to make sure that that mission that people had 6 years ago got everyone here. We don't forget about that. We want to keep sharing why we are building Filecoin and safeguarding and empower and having open conversations to with many people to see how we can build a protocol that strengthen and expand this mission that we have. We also want to make sure that the Filecoin economy and the GDP keeps growing, so that everyone can build sustainable business models and serving different use cases, so we can be the foundation for humanity's information. We want to make sure the network overall will keep moving even when we are not here 100 years later, right? So economic alignment is another thing that's what we really want to do. And we want to make sure that there are teams that's focused on the public good of the network and so that they can keep the foundation strong so people can run experiment, build different product on top of that. And last but not least, which I hope we are mostly good at, is driving technical alignment to let folks know, hey, this is a good potentially, or not people know, but explain to people how we think this is a good thing for the Filecoin protocol to be evolving, how that can make everyone leverage in the Filecoin protocol and using it for the deeping service or whatever you're trying to build, so that we can have a shared roadmap of the upgrade trajectory of the protocol. So it's, we don't want a ongoing changing protocol, because that means your product needs to be adapting to that. Who has all those resources, right? So we want to make sure we drive technical alignment so we can create reusable components for the overall ecosystem. We want to make sure we go from Filecoin alignment to generate an overall Filecoin network effect. JV from Answer Research have been writing this back in May. He suggested there are 3 top priorities that the Filecoin as a whole ecosystem should be focused on this year, which is accelerating conversations to demand paid deals, growing on-chain activities, and also making Filecoin relevant to the overall Web3 services. A lot of the work that we're doing at FilOz are very aligned to these 3 top priorities and want to help driving these needs for the Filecoin ecosystem community. So far in 2024, again, we haven't been we are only 3 months in since we are a thing, but we have been focused on bringing deep in compute storage, all the AI network to Filecoin through L2s and integrations. As you guys probably know, if you are building DeFi on Filecoin, fast finality is actually one of the blockers to do that right now, because you have to wait 7.5 hours for your transaction to get finalized on Filecoin. It's a pain in the ass. It's like you go to exchanges, you want to get some Filecoin and then use it for the applications on scene. You have to wait a really, really long time. And we are working on fast finality so that that gap can be reduced to like 30 seconds within 1 minute. Your transaction can be finalized, and that can empowering Filecoin state and transaction and the storage itself to be ported to other chains as well, so other network can use the Filecoin storage with that. Which is my next point, is making Filecoin the fundamental storage layer for Web3. Filecoin has a lot of resources. It has a lot of like storage spaces, hardware resources. How can we make sure that the other chains can be benefit from that, and having Filecoin serve as the data storage layer for their use cases? And that's why we introduced FEVM like last year. We want to make sure that our VM is more EVM compatible, so that the existing Web3 developers that are familiar with the EVM tech stack can also be building on Filecoin very easily. We want to introduce new like proof services. I'm not going to go too deep into that. I would recommend everyone to watch the Filecoin web service and the PDP talk we were giving at the other track earlier this morning. But we are hoping to not only having Filecoin to be a strong, powerful like storage consensus-based network, having useful code and for archival data use cases. We also want to make sure if you are building a hot data retrieval CDN and so on and so forth, you can apply that to Filecoin too. So that's another thing we are looking into. And again, last but not least, we are trying to work with a lot of like community members to evolving the protocol. Huge shout out to Web3 Mine. I don't know if they're around. However, one of the FIPS is actually implemented by their engineers with our support. That's going to be shipping on testnet this Thursday, actually, to do the upgrade. It's called NI ProRep. You will be helping building CD as a service and reducing SP's like entry bar and OPEX to join Filecoin significantly. If you do want to get into protocol development and helping us building this like amazing, cool network, let us know. We have a lot of ideas, and you want to, do some coding, we have the right people you can talk to. And we'll keep working on these like top goals. Again, as I mentioned, we want to ship PDP as a service example for like a lot of the applications that we believe can be benefiting from a cheaper proof. That's the first, and we want to finally ship F3. Yay, again, it's coming in the upgrade, soft launch in the upcoming upgrade that's coming in July. We will be enabling F3 protocol in the network without actually activating it in the consensus. However, later this year in November, we are hoping F3 is the consensus protocol that Filecoin will be run. So that's very exciting. And again, please go watch the talk about Filecoin web services and to see how can we make Filecoin the reference of the deepin services in general. We want to do a lot of simplification, maintenance, so it makes everyone's life easier, also our life easier in the long term. And again, we want to enable more people to build on Filecoin. And one of the things that we think we can do is reduce the FEVM tech debt and making it more EVM compatible. So the learning curve for the builders that wants to build application using Filecoin can be easier. Say if you're already familiar with Ethereum or like Cosmos or Solidity, whatever other tech stack, you can skip that learning curve and just be building on Filecoin directly. And we don't want to do this alone. So we want to be collaborating with all of you. If you know people are interested in doing that, we do our work in public. We are very active in a lot of different venues, but like if you want something, you want to chat with us, Fil Protocol and FilOz staff are the most efficient way to find us, or we will be pointing you to the relevant, channel as well. We are also running protocol office days, AMAs. There's like links that you can click to. You can book time with our researchers, implementation ideas. It's like, hey, I want this. I don't know how to build that. Can you give us some advice? Book some office hour. We would love to chat with you guys. If you want to run a protocol themed, like a working group call, like a open conversation call, like driving different teams there, we can help you like host protocol office as well. We can talk about Filecoin Com. You can talk about Filecoin Plus. maybe not Filecoin Plus, but we can talk about hot storage, like all those things. We are happy to coordinating that with you all, and also find me in the workshops on Thursday, to talk about ideas and all those things. Okay, this is gonna be awkward. As a COO, I now have to do some pitch. It's like, okay, we have a new org. We want to be running it sustainably because we do believe in what we are doing. It's important for the Filecoin ecosystem. So we are very lucky to get a very generous donation from the PL of Filecoin Impact Fund. We have 3 years of runway to secure the bare minimum that's needed, to employ all those amazing people I was just showing you. However, I believe, oh my God, sorry. However, we want to be sustainable at doing this for a really long term. So we are hoping there are more public goods fundings in the Filecoin network can keep our team, be sustainable, doing what we love doing, and bringing impact and contributing back to the Filecoin ecosystem. But we are also hoping there's public good fund that can be allocated to many other teams that are doing the similar things as we are doing, right? It's so that we can empower a lot of the business builders to build a strong foundation of hey, you don't have to worry about the Filecoin network. Just focus on your own product because we got you to make the network running. That relies on public good funding. So if your team is building a business and generating revenue from Filecoin, it would be a good idea for you to contribute some funds to the public good funding so teams like us can be here longer. And also we want to set some good standard for the overall public good teams in the Filecoin network, right? We want to, again, making us a resource for everyone, not everyone, because we have limited bandwidth, but if we have more people are doing this, we can support more of the folks that are trying to leverage in the Filecoin network resources. So, we want to build everything open source, so whatever we are doing can be used by anyone and can be expanded by anyone as well. And if we do have meaningful, treasury in our team, we also want to be dripping some of the public good funding to the dependencies that we are leveraging, for example, the P2P, IPFS, and so on and so forth. So the ways to contribute to PGF, you can sponsor the Filecoin Retro PGF Round 2. I believe it's coming soon in Q3, Q4. You can build a project that is, very Filecoin aligned, growing the Filecoin economy. Dedicate your engineering resources, BD resources, DevRel, PM resources to public good. You don't have to do everything. The whole idea for us, to exist is no one has to do everything all by yourself. Even you are just giving 5% of your effort and collecting all the 5%, and we are going to be contributing to the 70% of the things. We can build more things together, and we can do more things, right? You don't have to cover it all by yourself. This is a collaborative effort to make Filecoin better. So dedicate your engineers and resources to public good fund. So we can do that. Web3 Mind just walk in, which is shout out to them. They dedicate a very good engineer to implement the FIB and Apora for us. So we hope there are more team will be doing that. And if you want to give us more direct support, we do accept sponsors. So if you have you want to invest in our team, believes in what we are doing, and you want to make sure that hey, we get to expand and focus on the work. Please become a FilOz sponsor. You can email to that address, and I will be very looking forward to hear that from you all. You can follow us on Twitter and Medium. Very new on Twitter, so everyone please take your phone out and search FilOz and follow us, please, and let everyone know about our team. And we are trying to blog post more about our ideas, even though they are early, publish our updates, because we realize communicating, not only building cool stuff is important, communicating the cool stuff we're building and making people understand how to use that, how to leverage that is also very important. So we are trying to write more, so please follow us on Medium as well. And that's it. Let's make Filecoin better together.